So I'm here with Mark Manning, who runs By Design in Wells in the Chew Valley, beautiful part of Somerset.
It is
So,
indeed.
Mark, when we started working together, it was a bit of a sort of strange set of circumstances, wasn't it? Because if I remember correctly, I had put out a post on social media to do kind of free premium market reports, like in almost like December, something like that. And I did one for you then, and we might have had an email or two back and forth, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And then I did it again, sort of 3 or 4 months later. We do them every 3 or 4 months. They're just quite a lot of work, so we don't do it all the time. And we did another one together then, and then we kind of started chatting back and forth. So what was it that made you want to make a change? Because you were working in a self-employed brokerage previously. What made you want to change, and what was the sort of attraction to By Design? And I guess the premium market report was sort of not a red herring as such. It was just a topic of conversation. It was more strategic for what you wanted to be doing with your business. Is that right?
Yeah, very much so. So when I started the agency only 3 years ago, I knew that I wanted to do high-end property, and I was quite specific about it and the way I went about my business as well. However, the network I was with was kind of set out to be for a more broad range of properties at different price levels, and it was a bit more general. So I always tried to be at the top of my game and be the best there. But I still felt I was being held back by it, whereas By Design was so focused on that premium market, it just seemed a really good fit for what I wanted to do and the market that I could get into with the backing of By Design. Still being me, and me being the relatable one with my clients, but having that backing from By Design and the reach that By Design can get me to help my clients sell their properties better.
Yeah, I think it obviously doesn't change you and that relationship you have with the clients, but it does make life easier, because I think I think if you set a brand up to be for anyone, you end up appealing to no one. And there's nothing wrong necessarily with like the mid market and the volume market. I'm not interested in that market for loads of reasons. I just don't think it's as financially interesting, and the people are as interesting, whatever. But you can't pretend to be in the premium market and then not just focus on that, because you'll get unstuck, I think. So I think having that, it's tea time or something out there, I think. I think having that focus on the premium market makes life easier when you're in front of clients, because it's clear what you specialise in. You
Yes.
are for them, if that makes sense.
Very much so.
And so you're moving away from that brokerage, and I think sort of as we record this today, actually, so we won't release this for a little while, we're kind of in a bit of a limbo land, almost transitioning out of one into the other. Is that right?
Yeah, basically because I've got sales going through that I need to get finished.
Yeah.
And the moment they are, then I can go full steam ahead with what I'm doing with By Design.
And actually, I speak to a fair few people that are in kind of similar positions, because there's always, especially people that are in a self-employed role at the present time, there's always sort of, it's difficult to get out sometimes, because there's always a commission or something like that that's keeping you there.
Yeah.
And I get that, and especially in the premium end, those can be a lot of money. It's significant amounts of cash. And I guess what was interesting with you and I is that we've been sort of talking and setting up and flying under the radar and doing things covertly without sort of competing with what you're doing now. It's very much been just seeing that out and making sure that you get what you're owed from that, seeing that out, to then launch By Design properly. But I think it's important in terms of firstly, like reserving the territory for yourself is important, because once they're gone, they're gone. But then just from a logistical, operational side of making sure that you know everything works, you get your feet under the table, so when you launch, you're not worried about, what's my email password? You can get on and do the business.
Very much so, and email password is a prime example of the nitty gritty, but it is the nitty gritty. So I'm learning a completely new CRM.
Yeah.
I'm looking. The first time I opened it up, I looked at it and thought, right, where do I start? There's nothing here that's relatable at all.
Yeah.
So I had to relearn how to use a CRM because it's completely different. But it's given me that time to do that and get letterheads printed and business cards printed and get my head around all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
while still getting my sales pushed through
Yeah.
from my previous place. So
Yeah.
it's been quite a handy bit of time, really, rather than just jumping straight in and going,
What am I doing now? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And have you had the chance yet to sort of speak to any clients or potential clients about your new business and what you're doing as by design, or have you not had the opportunity yet?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've spoken to quite a few. I've got 3 properties in the pipeline as it is right now to come on with me, and so, they found me because of the work I'd done at my previous place.
Yeah.
But then I've said to them, look, you are still buying into me, but now what I can offer you with by design is far greater reach. You're still going to get the same high quality that I've always set myself out to do, and they really like what they're doing. As soon as they find out who's by design, they click on the website and they go. Every single one of them has gone, oh, nice website.
Yeah.
Every
yeah,
single
yeah.
one. And when you're looking at that kind of level of property and in the premium market, something like having a great website really helps. It really does, because then they see that I'm doing the same sort of caliber
Yeah.
as my counterparts at By Design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas at my previous place, there were some that were doing some absolute bog basic stuff that just didn't relate to what I was doing. And when you're sat in front of a client talking about that, that's not a good look. Whereas with By Design, it's perfect. It fits in great.
Yeah, it just it undermines you, doesn't it? I think if it doesn't look like what you want it to do, and
That's right.
and the website is really important. We invested quite a lot in it because I think it's your shop window these days. It's just that's what people look at. And I read there was a bit of research. It's quite old now actually, but they're saying the vendor's behaviour is they will have a background sort of in some preconceived ideas of the kind of agents they want to get round for evaluation, but actually before they do, they'll check out their websites to make sure that what their preconceptions were are actually correct. Okay, these are the agents for me, or oh, that one I thought was, but actually doesn't really deal with my kind of house. I think that's what it's there for. So it's completely geared up for vendors to reassure them that yes, we are right for your house.
Yes.
If their house is right for us. I
Yeah,
guess.
and that goes across all the agents that are with By Design, because
Yeah.
if you look at what everyone's doing, it's setting that bar.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
You're going to fit in great.
So, full disclosure, so we're recording this the morning after we went to see the cricket yesterday and ended up going out for dinner, and we may have had a shandy or two. Anyway, over dinner, you said something which really made me laugh and and really got the conversation going at the table, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I think you are the first agent I've ever met who's paid for a competitor's marketing materials. But there's a very good reason for it. And when you demonstrated that at the dinner table last night, it made everyone laugh. Like, I thought it was very compelling. Would you tell us about what that is, what I'm banging on about?
Yes, so I've had some really cheap business cards made up that aren't very good quality at all for a rival agent that does the bottom end of the market, really, where I'm based. And so if I get any resistance from a client saying, oh, but you're too expensive, you cost too much, your fees are too high, I say to them, look, if you want to pay 1%, give this person a call. Here's the business card. They will sort you out. They will charge you 1%, and that's fine. If you want to sell your house for more, then I'm the one to employ. Here's my business card. Give me a call. Take your pick.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, especially last night, the way that you demonstrated and pulled out of the business card holder and slammed it on the table was really good. But I like that. I like the mindset of it. I like the fact that it's almost I've seen this online, people call it like a with or without you energy, where it's sort of, if you don't want to use me, if you don't want to pay the fees that I'm worth because of the service, because of the level of marketing, because of the level of professionalism, because of the level of exposure that I can give you, that's fine. Don't. Here's the alternative, and please feel free to use them. And it's a confidence that means that the vendor has confidence in you.
I've always been happy to walk away from market appraisals and not get the listing.
Yeah.
If they're not right for me,
Yeah.
and it's not going to fit, then I'd much rather walk away, because I'm not in the business of putting a for sale sign outside the house. I want a sold sign outside the house.
Yeah.
So it needs to be a good fit. And
Yeah.
if they're not interested in what I'm doing and my price point, then fine. Go to the 1% agent. There's their card.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Just as a side note to this as well, something that's interesting in the conversation of personal branding, because your new biodesign boards have your face on, and they look really smart, and actually your current ones look very smart as well, and they have your face on. And it was interesting. Like I guess being in the industry, we never quite know what resonates and what doesn't. And maybe this is a survey of one, but as it happens, my parents-in-law live near you, and my sister-in-law lives near you as well, and they all knew who you were from your boards.
Yep.
And there are a lot of agents there. It's a competitive market. It's not like you're the only show in town.
Yep.
There are lots of competitive agents there in and around the area, and it's a big area as well.
Yep.
You know, it's a relatively rural area spread out geographically,
Yep.
but they knew who you were because they recognised your face on the boards.
Massively. And it's hugely important,
Yeah.
I feel, because all the other boards locally, let's call it Smith and Smith for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Who is Mr. Smith
Yeah.
or Mrs. Smith? Because you never see their face.
Yeah.
Whereas when you call me, you know who you're going to get because you've seen my face.
Yeah.
You've got my mobile number. You're coming through to me.
Yeah.
And you're buying into me.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really, really great way to do business, because it's about trust.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I agree, because it's like you could look into why it works so well on so many levels. You know, one is just people feeling like they can. You fast forward the relationship a bit, like they see a lot of you. There's almost the fame factor that if they know who you are before they meet you, there's sort of a status elevation you get from that. But I guess the other thing, like you say, is trust. That you're putting your face on the board outside the house. You are putting your reputation against that. You're not hiding behind a brand or anything. This is your work. This is your client. This is your reputation. And I think like it builds trust, because people say, okay, well, if he's willing to do that, I know he's going to put the work in, because he's got stake in this significant personal reputational stake as well.
Yeah. The buck stops with me.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, last question, and I appreciate this is very, very early days to be asking this, because I think like you were just about to hit the launch button, which is really exciting. But in the future of your business, there's a lot of people in biodesign have a bit of a common objective, and people just through starting at different times or at various levels of progression along this road of growing their business and having a team of self-employed agents that are working with them and around them in the area as well. Is that something that you want to do? Is it something that you want to do eventually? Not something you're particularly interested in? Where does it sit on that sliding scale for you?
It's a very interesting question. It's not something I'm particularly interested in. I'm a bit of a control freak. I like everything to be done my way. So I like just getting on with it. I'll never retire. I just want to work and do things my way. That said, I have been really, really busy, and I've been thinking there's not enough hours in the day. So actually, further down the line, when I can actually feel like I can relinquish some control, then potentially having a self-employed agent working alongside me would be a really good idea, just to give me a bit more of a break.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's not on my radar.
Yeah.
I think that will come further down the line.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm more interested in finding agents locally to my area that are really good, that we can bring into biodesign, because I want really good agents around me so that we can have a
Collaborate.
crossover. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I really agree. Like that is I think your strategy is right. Like, let's focus on the task at hand first. But yeah, you're right. Like that's the benefit and the bigger picture of doing this. That your business is your business. You own it. You own the license exclusively. And as it's too much to say in this, but it's not something that can never be taken away from you. Therefore, it's asset value. Therefore, one day if you wanted to sell it, it's got significant asset value. But what's nice is that you can have the combination of it being your business, but then collaborating with so many others. So it has this magnification effect, and we all can do things that none of us could do on our own, because we collaborate and work together.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to have strong neighbours. So, for example, before you joined, it was important that you spoke to other people in by design,
Yep.
and that's like a two-way street that you can understand from them what's good about it, what's not, and that they can get a feel for you as well. And that's especially true when there's that geographical proximity to it. You want your neighbour to work hand in hand with you, because it's I use the laziest expression, boards breeding boards.
But it's also in the interest of my clients.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to move from here to there, and then in the next county over,
Yeah.
then to be able to have a great agent with by design in this county selling their property for them to buy one of mine, why wouldn't we do that? You know, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I completely agree. Awesome, Mark, we'll leave it there. It's a really exciting time as we speak right now, because we're very close to pressing the launch button, which feels like a long time coming. So I'm super excited to get out there and set the fireworks off. And then we've got an exciting few months worth of, I guess as we come into the Christmas period, we've got a few exciting months worth of listing, selling properties, and then getting the stuff lined up for the spring as well, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Awesome. Mark, thanks so much.
Cheers, David.
Thank you, mate.